Let's be clear. This presentation that's coming up is not about creating your own customs in conjunction with the laws as laid down by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. This presentation is about creating customs and saying that Prophet Noble Drew Ali created the custom and sanctioned the custom. Forging letters and attributing those letters to a divine prophet is very different when one decides that they want to create a custom in conjunction with the Grand Major Temple. Forging the prophet's signature, writing a letter to substantiate the things that you want to establish shows the desperation to mislead people in the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali so people cannot find their way. It shows the desperation and the blatant disregard for the system that Prophet Noble Drew Ali set up. So again, no, it's not a problem creating a custom. The problem is the forged letters, the forged signature of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now everyone should be asking why. Why will someone go to this extreme when it's unnecessary? Well, my answer is this. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali came with a clear path towards spiritual, economic, and every other liberation and freedoms that we could ever think of. In order for us not to walk towards that freedom, someone was put in place to rearrange the furniture, cut out the lights, so the Moors wouldn't know their own house. And that's just what it is. Leave a comment at the end of this presentation. Thank you for viewing. If I'm missing something, I want y'all to let me know. And even that Moorish New Year is a lie made up. Happy Moorish New Year. No such thing. There's no such thing as a Moorish New Year. That's a lie made up. You know what that's all about? We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's talk about that in a minute. I'm going to knock that out the park too. They made that up too. Moorish New Year. That's pseudo. They made that up too. They made that up too. Let me tell you how they made it up. Yeah, this is off record, but we're going to go there too. We're going to go there too. You want to tell you how they made it up? Let me see if I can break this down and read it to you. Hold up, I might have to pull out the real deal. Let me see what I got. It says, please inform the followers that Friday after my birthday is New Year. I will be... Let me get the actual letter, because y'all tripping. Y'all following anything. Stop letting people tell y'all this stuff. Stop letting people tell you this stuff. Let me get the actual letter. That's right. I know you want to follow this stuff, but I'm going to give you the actual letter now. We follow anything somebody tell us. I mean, because we like to be drug around by our noses. But I knock this stuff out the park. I don't follow craziness that don't mean nothing to me. I mean, I know people get mad because they want to follow this stuff. I know, but here we go. Here is the letter where they got this Moorish New Year from. Meeting at Community Center, 3140 Indiana Avenue. Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, January 10th, 1929. Anybody that been in the temple under my leadership, they know that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't even in Chicago, January 10th, 1929. Notice, Islam, please inform all members the following Friday after my birthday is New Year's. I am well and we had a nice time. Hope you all did likewise. May the blessings of our Father God Allah be those. This is a forgery. This is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. Anybody know what Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature look like? This is a forgery. Hold up, hold up, hold up. This is a forgery. Forgery alert. This is a forgery alert. Let me finish. So they say the 15th. Check this out, Crip. Crip know about numbers. Check this out. Let me pull it up. Forgery alert. This is my next show that I'm doing on my next channel too. On the other channel. All right, let me see. Is that it? Let me get this out the way. Give me 1 second. Try and get this right here. Forgery alert. Hold up. Let me see. All right, let me open another window. All right, forgery alert. This is why they can't stand me. That's why they can't stand me. So they said the Friday after my birthday will be Moorish New Year's. So they say that Moorish New Year's is on the 15th. Is that right? Press 7, Moors. Don't they say that Moorish New Year's on the 15th? Is that what they say? Press 7, Moors. Those people over there told you that Moorish New Year's is the 15th, and they qualify it by this letter. I don't hear y'all talking. They qualify it by this letter, that the Friday after my birthday will be the Moorish New Year's. I need a 7. I need a 7 before I start. Please inform members that the Friday after my birthday is Moorish New Year's. They say Moorish New Year's is on the 15th. That's why the brothers say Moorish New Year. When is the Friday after Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday in 1929? What is the Friday after Noble Drew Ali's birthday in 1929? This is a 1929 calendar. It's not the 15th. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born January the 8th. It's not the 15th. They lied to you again. They got you chasing your tail with this fake stuff. But now let me give you the science of what they're trying to do. The reason why they say it's on the 15th is because they want to be Christians. Count from the 8. 8, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. How many days from the 15th? From the 8th to the 15th. How many days? 7 days. What is that consistent of? Count from the 25th to the 1st of the Gregorian calendar. And how many days you got? From Christmas to the first of the Gregorian calendar. They remixing Christianity with these people, man. They remixing Christianity. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us that we've returning the church and Christianity back to the Europeans because it was created for them. He didn't tell us to remix it. They remixing Christianity. That's all they doing. And people running around talking about Happy Moorish New Year. They did that. See, listen, the way that you confuse a people that has a divine message, all you got to do is discombobulate the message. All you got to do is twist the message up. They will never know how to find spiritual freedom or liberation. They will never know how to find physical freedom. They will never know, because you just get them chasing their tail with meaningless nonsense. It's the bait and switch trick. The prophet, this is a forged signature. Listen, this is a forgery. This is a forgery. That is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. It's a forgery. It's all a forgery. When we put this all together, that the prophet said this on January the 10th, we look at the calendar, we look at the like, we're not getting to the science of all that your birthday is the day of the week you were born. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this letter. We're talking about this calendar. And we're talking about the prophet of Jerusalem. We're not going to get into any semantics. We're going to keep it so basic a child can understand. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it so basic a child can understand. Follow me? I mean, there's no need for us to remix anything, because the prophet said his footprints is clearly cut. We don't need no metaphors. We don't need nothing. All we need is pure doctrine. That's it. So somebody says, show his signature. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let me pull something up real quick. Hold on one second. Let me pull up his actual signature. And that's my next show on my next channel. Actually, I'm gonna break down all the misinformation and the fraudulent letters that they have put out. Hold on one second. Let me find it real quick. I think I got it right here, actually. I think I got it right here. Hold up. I ain't got the signature with this. Hold up. I should have the signature with this. Hold on. Oh, man, I got to pull the signature out. Hold on one second. I'm slipping. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me pull the signature out. We almost done, family. I need about 5 more minutes. We done. And we ain't doing this no more. Yeah, we got about 5 more minutes. We ain't doing this no more. All right. Oh, I know what I get. I get it. For Sister Yasmin. Let me get it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get it. All right, here we go. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. I think I'm getting it now. Hold on. Hold up. I thought I was getting it. One second. There we go. Let's get it. All right, here we go. I'm getting it. Wait on it. Because it's important that you see the signature. That's right. Let's show the receipts. We're going to put the signature next to that right now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have it in a minute. That's right. Where you go at, buddy? Okay, here we go. Got it. Okay, here's the prophet signature. Matter of fact, let me snip it so we can put it side by side. Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful. You know what I mean? Y'all just keep following the lie. That's all you. I'm telling you, we trying to build this thing. You want to get with the building, come on and build. Okay, here you go. Any Moors want to get with the building, bring your integrity with you. Bring your integrity with you. That's all you got to do. Don't bring no lies. So here's the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. If you want to build this movement on truth, then you're welcome. Here goes the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. And here goes the fraudulent signature. And here's the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. Right here on this affidavit. Know the difference. Don't let nobody lie to you. Have you celebrating stuff that don't make sense. Have you celebrating stuff that don't make sense. They're lying to you. They trying to redirect the prophet's people. They trying to redirect God's people. This is why Sharif didn't show no receipts, because it don't have none. The devil can't bring receipts. Only God can bring receipts, because God is the creator. That's right. See, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us how to represent this doctrine. That's right. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us. Anybody who's followed truth, the Prophet will speak to your heart. You know what I'm saying? See, we don't believe when we talk about, see, this is why people talk about the ancestor this, ancestor that, and they heart ain't pure. I know they lying. But for those who heart is pure, man, it's easy to put this stuff together. Before I go, let me ask. I see Hannibal L. Before I go, I want to make sure. Hannibal L., did I miss anything? Kwali, did I miss anything? I'm going to show all the forgeries on my next presentation on the other channel. You know what I mean? Tell us about the big coats they wear, if you will. Oh, those are just uniform to make like people know something. Talking about what Kirkman Bay had on. Just look at the second letter O's. Try to connect the first letter N. It's clear no one writes like that. Yeah. All of this stuff is forgeries. Where's Sharif at? Where is he? Now, he can try to refute this all he want, but all he going to do is do babbling explanations. All he's going to do is babbling explanations. He will never be able to pull receipts like this. Never. He would never be able to pull receipts like this.
Every single day.
What do you think about him saying
this
no one succeeded?
New Year's, Moorish New Year's, I got a bunch of calls. And these calls was about the legitimacy of Moorish New Year. Little do they know that we had already covered Moorish New Year in our temple, the Moorish Science Temple of America, affectionately known as the Noble Temples. We had already covered that maybe a week or two before. We did a whole class on it. So for those who were in the class, I scratched the surface, but I didn't do what I'm going to do tonight. I want to say that the reason why this is important for Moorish Americans, because the same way that they argue about Jesus wasn't born on the 25th, there's a reason why they make that argument. And the reason is deeper than Europeans created that Christmas in relation to Christ just because. It's deeper than that. In fact, and I said this earlier on my Facebook Live, when a significant soul is born into this manifest that we call Earth, and when I say significant, we are all a significant. But what I mean by this in context, don't take it out of context. When a significant soul is born into this manifest for the express purpose to guide you out of this oppressive situation, in fact, to liberate you. When you look at the life of Jesus, whether you believe in Jesus or not, I want you to respect the context. I don't care if you believe if he existed or not. This is not the argument tonight. But when you look at the story of Jesus, we know that according to the Bible, that according to the celestial beings, that Jesus in no way could have been born on December the 25th. It's impossible, according to the Bible. But the significant thing about the story is that in the Bible, whether you believe in it or not, remember context, in the Bible, it talks about the three wise men. They looked towards the heaven and they seen the star and they interpreted as the Savior, the child, the Redeemer, the Liberator was born. And so they left and headed west to find this Liberator and this Redeemer. Now, remember context. If that period of time in the celestial beings, or as we like to say, the stars was lined up for future generations, they could glance up to the heavens and they'll be able to see that which is to come. Because in the past, that's how the Liberator came. But when the European take that situation and they move that situation to another part of the calendar, if you will, now those that are faithful to the science of the celestial beings, those are that faithful to the entry of master souls entering into this realm to liberate us or lead us or help guide us out of this oppression or oppressive situation, or those of us that understand that our ancestors cried for one to come and save us, whether they cried on the Lord, whether they cried in the name of Jesus, whether they cried in the name of Allah, whatever they cried for the universe because we had been suffering. But now the European changes it and put the date somewhere else. So now all the attention is focused somewhere else. And now we begin to be dumbed down as it relates to how the sciences of the universe work hand in hand with the spiritual journey of human beings. We begin to dumb down. So that's why this is important. When someone take Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings and they remix them, or they take a cultural thing, implement it, and apply it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that's where the error exists. Because every footprint that Prophet Noble Drew Ali put forth as it relates to the structure of the Moorish Science Temple of America, to me and any faithful Moorish American, is a divine footprint. In other words, it's the path to get us up out of this situation. The world don't have to believe it. Your friends, your mother, your cousins, nobody have to believe it. But for the faithful Moorish American, this is their concept. This is my concept. That every step that Prophet Noble Drew Ali made in structuring the Moorish Science Temple of America, if followed, it will liberate you as an individual. And if you work the plan together, it will liberate you as a nation. That's Moorish science in a nutshell. Now, the moment one comes along and they remix what the Prophet did, now it makes it harder for the Moorish American to find their way to the path of liberation, because they have muddied the waters, because they have blurred the lines. And now what happened is, this is not a new phenomenon. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, the same thing happened when you read a red letter Bible of Jesus and you look at what the Catholic Church did to the Jesus principles and the Jesus path and structure. You know there are totally different. When you look at the stories of Paul and you look at the story of Jesus, it's totally different. They did the same thing with Muhammad. This is why people think that the Pale Arab has a monopoly on the teachings of Muhammad. And this is why people think that the Pale Arab has an authority of the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, as well as the Quran. Because time came where they muddied the waters and the people couldn't differentiate the truth from the falsehood, or the truth from the remix. And so now you got millions and millions of Muslims here in America that actually put up Christmas trees on the 25th. I witnessed it. I'm not just making this stuff up. And they look at it like, I don't want to deprive my children. It's just a tree. You feel what I'm saying? They get comfortable. Same thing happened with Buddhism, and the same thing happened with any path of liberation. After the Redeemer or the Liberator transitions, those that follow the Liberator or the transition, they know how powerful and how it can be used to control people as opposed to liberate people. So they rather take the low road and control people as opposed to liberate people, because they never seen the value of liberation. So many of us as a group of people, in particular, I'm speaking to Moors tonight, have never really seen the value of liberation. We don't understand the value of liberation. We have a concept of liberation. We have a theory of liberation. But our experience here in America haven't been an experience of liberation. The only thing that we know is we can read about what liberation is. But there's a difference when you know what liberation is. In other words, there's probably a small percentage that are truly liberated right here. Not many, only a small percentage. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell. And this video tonight will prove what I'm saying. that there's only a small percentage that is truly liberated. Now, as we get to the good stuff, the way that you can tell if a person is liberated is that person, him or her, will discover a truth and they will let go of former truth that they have discovered is a lie. That's the one of the most clear signs that that mind is on the path of liberation or is liberated. When they are able to shift from a student to a teacher like that, and shift back from a teacher to a student like that. Because none of us know it all. So at any given moment, we might have to shift. I might have to be the student, to May the Alchemist, because she knows something that I don't know. And so that is the sign of a liberated mind. And as I said again, one of the other signs of a liberated mind is to put down something that they formerly believed. You follow me? Throw it in the trash can and move forward with the thing that they have now discovered to be truth. And in the sayings of Prophet Noble Ali, it says, a wise man doubteth often. A fool is obstinate. He knows everything but his own ignorance. And so to be wise is to research and confirm that which you say you follow. With that being said, that's enough of the pleasantries. Let's get with it. So, recently on social media, and I'm going to call names, you're going to have to deal with it, and it's in no disrespect. There is not, there's like 5 major group of Moorish Americans, first and foremost. You have a group called Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. And these are not major groups per se. What I mean by they're known, all right? Or these leaders are known. And this is in no disrespect. You have Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, spearheaded and ran by R. Jones Bay. One of the faces of Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated is my good brother, Azim Hopkins Bey. If you have watched the show long enough, he's been on the show. Another organization goes by Moorish Science Temple of America, or MST of A 1928. It's spearheaded by Rasadiel. Another organization fall in line with Moorish Science Temple of America is Keith Dandriff L., who is in the seat of David Bailey L. So if you don't know Keith Dandriff L., Supreme Grand Sheik, then just know that Bailey L. transitioned in September of last year, and Keith Dandriff is now the Supreme Grand Sheik. Then you have my brother Kenyu Bey, also known as Tyrone Bey. Then you have my brother here in Baltimore, R. Edwards L. Then you have my other brother from D.C., but also have a temple here in Baltimore, my brother Johnson Bays, the 2 Johnson Bays with the resurrection. And you have another resurrection group, Prather L., Supreme Grand Sheik. And I can go on and on with these names, but one thing that they all have in common, and it's no disrespect, I've seen where they have all celebrated what is known as the Moorish American New Year. You hear what I say? All the names that I've named are well known in the Moorish diaspora. And all of them, this is how heavy this is right now. This is how heavy this is. Now, at the end of the day, and also of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, Fuquan Bay. And myself, I spearhead the Moorish Science Temple of America. And we do have a misnomer that we use called the Noble Temples. That's not our name. But all of these groups have one thing in common that I know. And if I stand to be corrected, I don't mind. That at some point in time, even up to last week, even up to the past 15th, that just passed a few days ago, they was recognizing the Moorish American New Year, and they attributed to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Now, here's the issue. There wouldn't be a problem if one wants to create a Moorish New Year. The problem is when you attribute it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali and what you stand on. And many people would argue that Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, under the leadership of Charles Kirkman Bey, initiated this. Many Moors will argue that. Now, many Moors will also argue that Charles Kirkman Bey hijacked the Moorish Science Temple of America after the transition of the first and only appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh in the Prophet's while the Prophet was alive, but carried on in the Prophet's absence, was Edward Miliel. Now, that's too much politics for some of those that don't know. But for the sake of clarity, everybody would accuse C. Kirkman Bey of infiltrating the Moorish Science Temple of America, redesigning the Moorish Science Temple of America to mimic a Masonic organization, and then move forward with the impression that that is the Moorish Science Temple of America that Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought to the people. Many Moors will argue that. But these same Moors that will argue that will fall in line and practice this holiday that's been attributed to Prophet Noble Drew Ali called Moorish American New Year. Again, there's a problem because the bait and switch is what always keep us lost. And I'm going to say this at the end too. When you look at the spring equinox and the European puts a bunny in place to represent the resurrection, we're talking about Easter in April. Spring equinox, of course, is in March. But all of this falls together. When you don't understand what the spring equinox is all about, and now your attention is directed towards a bunny that lay eggs, and you teach your children that from a small age, what happens is your direction is turned from the universal principle that is right above your head and right around you. Your direction is now pointed to a bunny or your children. The same thing happened with all of these holidays. You know, whether it's what's that trick or treat, what's that Halloween supposed to be, the harvest, Halloween, it coincides with the harvest. And so if they got your children redirected about goblins and googles and all of that, they miss the blessing of what the harvest is all about. They miss the blessing of what the celestial beings is teaching. because they so focused on trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And we think it's just child's play. It don't mean nothing, but our ancestors were sharp. All the way around to Thanksgiving, all the way around to Christmas, and even to New Year. It's the same thing. You follow me? So what the thing is that the lower vibration intentions is to redirect you from a natural truth, a natural phenomenon that's right before your face. And so when somebody creates something that is not in line with the divine, then you must say that. But the moment that you create something and blame it on the divine, now you're out of line. And a person like me that used to thought that was kind of crazy begin to research it. Now, I'm about to pull out these slides. Everything that I'm going to do in a minute goes against all of my teachers. You hear what I say? Anybody that ever taught me, from starting in the resurrection and was there for a year or two with a brother named Robert Zell, to Edward Zell, to another brother named Roberts Bay, to Eddington L, to Azim Hopkins Bay, to Haru Radisi L, to George Turner L. And I can go on and on. Everything that I'm going to teach tonight goes against everything that I've been taught in the past. Y'all see how heavy? Put a 7 in there before I get this first side. I had to set that up so you can see how heavy this is. Y'all see how serious this is? And I got to underscore something. If anybody ever watched Sinetta says, don't know Moors, mess with Taaka Bay. That's not true. Oh, let me not forget Lord Abba. I've learned stuff from Lord Abba. I've learned stuff from Sharif and Nail Bay. I've learned stuff from I'll name them as I go along. Ali Bay, Grimion L. I've learned stuff from all of these brothers. Not this what I'm teaching today, but I've learned stuff from a lot of these brothers. You know what I mean? So here we go. I want y'all to know the context that after tonight, many will have to make excuses to practice this behavior. We want to get to the truth. So here we go. Let me get me a screen share on. So anywhere that you go on the internet, and remember, if you're not a Moorish American subscribed, the principle of what I'm teaching tonight is not to allow anybody to tell you anything and you go with it. Because in the line of the divine, you want to follow what's right all the time. So you should research it. You feel what I'm saying? You should research it. Or you should find a qualified scholar on the topic and move forward with it. Now, here we go. If you go to the Moorish Science Temple of America, let me fix my screen real quick. If you go to the Moorish Science Temple of America, I think it's MST of A, 1913. This is what you will find on their front page. These are the holidays, and I want you to pay attention that, in fact, I'm going to blow it up so you can really see it. I want to blow it so you can really see it. All right. So these are the holidays in which they subscribe to under the leadership of R. Jones Bay. January 8th, Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday. We can confirm that. And then January 15th, Moorish New Year's. Now, many of these other holidays that we see on this list have been made by someone other than the prophet. Even September the 15th with this group, July 20th, Authority Day, and there's nothing wrong with that. Long as you don't attribute it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because now you're playing with the divine. The divine journey is what I'm referring to. Again, you go on the internet, you'll find that January 15th is supposedly Moorish American New Year. All right? You go here, you go to blog 5 years ago. This group, which I think is out of somewhere Chevy Chase, Maryland, if I'm not mistaken, on Blog Top Radio. I mean, it says Prophet Noble Drew Ali declared 1/15/28. Happy New Year. Happy Moorish New Year. Listen to this. For the nation. Prophet Noble Drew Ali declared 1/15/28. That's not true. On 1/15/28, 1928, the prophet never declared that. Here is another fallacy. It's a bunch of misinformation out there on the Moorish Science Temple of America, and here's one here. I'll show you where the group come from. Now listen to this. This is what they teach that you will find on the internet. That's a total lie. Celebrate the Moorish New Year. Prophet Noble Drew Ali declared January 15th as the Moorish New Year. I'm going to prove that to be a lie tonight. So enthusiastic was the reception of costumes worn by Moorish Americans during their parade that the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America decided to have at different times what they call a Moroccan costume ball. Now, they're taking an article out of the Moorish Guide, and they claim that there's a parade with a costume adorned on the members, which happened in October. And then there is Moorish New Year. I want y'all to follow me closely for all of those who celebrated this on the 15th. Just follow me closely. This affair will be had shortly after the holidays, after New Year's Eve. The prophet consented that this could be for the entertainment of members. Now, many people take this to mean after New Year's Eve to be, and now I'm going to bring up the article too, but many people would take this to mean after New Year's Eve of January the 14th. I don't know, but I'm going to bring receipts in a minute. I'm saying I'm going to bring receipts in a minute. So here is the group that I was just reading. I think this is the group right here where they claim that January 15th is Moorish New Year. You follow me? And I think this group is Moorish New Year, January 15th. And I think this group, if I'm not mistaken, is somewhere in like Chevy Chase, Maryland. But it doesn't matter. All over the internet, if you put in Moorish New Year, you will find your favorite Moorish Americans having a Moorish New Year celebration. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when you attribute it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All through the internet. I know most of these people, most of these brothers on this picture, except for the little baby. Right? Now let's move on real quick and let's get to the good stuff. It was a brother named Tyree Wilson Bay, and I hope he's watching. The brother Tyree Wilson Bay tried to go back and forth with me, and I asked him, brother, would you like to debate this concept? right? Obviously, he didn't want to debate. And well, let's clean this thing up. Let's straighten it up. He didn't want to debate, so fine, no problem. So I say to him, Tyrese Wilson Bay Moore, this is talking about a ball at the actual Gregorian calendar, New Year's Eve, and one at the prophet's birthday celebration. Read closely. So what happened was he put up a post from a newspaper article from the time of the prophet Noble Ali and claimed that, look here, this article, I couldn't find his post, but I could find mine. Look here, this article proves it, that the prophet says that there'll be two different times. And he says about New Year's Eve. That means, this is what he's saying, that means that right after November the 14th, then the 15th, we will have a costume ball. And November the 14th is New Year's Eve. And I'm saying to the brother, I don't know what you're reading, but you're not making sense here. Then we had May L out of Chicago, my little bro, who went crazy on me on the post, but it's okay. I understand. He goes crazy on the post and he puts up a letter. And we're going to go over that letter shortly. As you can see at the top is the letter that he puts up. And Michael Mayel, he states, after 58 replies, I'm just going straight to his. He says, actually, it will be the 11th following Friday after his birthday. New Year's, October was a fiscal year, like a Romans start their budget over on October the 15th. My brother Talik L says that letter might be suspect. Michael Mayel says, not really. Then I chimed in, somebody tagged me, I chimed in, and Michael Mayel went off the deep end with myself. But I understand. Young bull, want to know something, think he knows something. I get it. So instead of going back and forth on a feed, I'm going to give you some food tonight. Now, Mayel says the letter is not suspect. I'm telling you, it is. And I'm going to prove it in a couple seconds. This letter that is a tribute to Emiliel speaks very plainly when he says they govern themselves, they're governing the actions. Let me blow it up for you. This is the first and only appointed Supreme Grand Sheikh by Prophet Noble Ali. And this is attributed to him, a letter. And he says, they govern their actions by majority, which is all right, if the majority is right. On the other hand, if only the one is right, the one is the majority. That's Islam. And this is what Emiliel states. So all of these people that are celebrating this and attributed to Prophet Noble Ali, they may continue to govern themselves by the majority. But if I'm right, by the will of Allah, and according to the teachings of the Prophet Noble Ali, then hey, the people's Grand Sheikh becomes the majority, which I have no need to be that. Now, let's get to the letter. First of all, let's read the letter and break it down. First of all, it says meeting at community center. This is the first thing that stands out to me. Prophet Noble Drew Ali's letters, for the most part, I can't say all of them, it always talked about Unity Hall or Grand Temple. But this one says meeting at Community Center, 3140 Indiana Avenue. And it says this meeting will be on Friday from 7 to 11. I mean, they have meetings on Friday, 7 to 11, on Sunday from 1:30 to 6:30 and 7:30 to 11 p.m. All right. It says the Moorish Science Tip of America home office is 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali founder, Chicago, Illinois, January the 10th. This is supposedly written on January the 10th of 1929. And it says, Islam, please inform all members that the following Friday after my birthday is New Year's. I am well, and we all had a nice time. Hope you all did likewise. May the blessing of our Father God Allah abide with you. Peace, peace, prophet from the prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Noble Drew Ali. Now first, what stands out to me as a researcher and an authenticator is I am well and we all had a nice time. Hope you all did likewise. So it would seem as if, or appear, that Prophet Noble Drew Ali is sending this out to other temples around the country. But now let's take a closer look. It was a sister on the thread that says, responds to somebody. She said, Islam, or the document was transcribed, retyped many decades ago by Sister M. Cook Bay, Sheikh G. Cook Bay wife, to preserve its content. The original is in really bad shape. And Talik L says, the letter does not flow like the prophet. It's too short. It makes a 3-sentence statement. Keon Jabbar East L, good question. The sister say there's something that's actual fact. Most of us stuff was retyped. And Bailey L told me himself years ago. I mean, Michael Mayell said that. Told me years ago, all those letters was retyped by his sister. Y'all answer your own question. So Mayell is of the thought. Mayell is of the thought that, yes, the letter was retyped. Now, one thing that we're going to look at right now, before we get into some of the particulars, that this letter is written 2 days after Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday. And now, if we pay close attention, and I'm doing this to put emphasis on it, it says, please inform all members that the following Friday after my birthday is New Year's. I want you to pay close attention. They claim that January the 15th is New Year. This letter that they use said the following Friday after my birthday is New Year. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. It's like Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of November. You can't put a date on that. Now, I'm talking about according to this letter. And this is the letter that everyone uses in reference to celebrate Moorish New Year. The prophet never said the 15th. Family, if you are in here, there's thousands and thousands of people that have celebrated a New Year's, claim to be Moorish New Year's, under the name or under the auspice of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, gave the authority. Now, in this letter, first of all, press 7. Press 7 if you understand that there is no date claiming the 15th is. I'm going to debunk the whole letter in a minute. Press 7 if you can see that there is no date claiming the 15th is a Moorish New Year. In this letter, it says the Friday after my birthday. There is no date. Where did they get this date from? I want you to hold on to this. And may the alchemist, let me tell you something. This is how the European play the game. And brothers have played this game to murky up and muddy the waters and keep us blind too, even in the Moorish Science Temple of America School of Thought. So remember what I said. It says the Friday after my birthday. Let's go to the next slide. If you can look close at this next slide real quick. I want to ask people, can they see what stands out? If anybody know about research, if you look real close, pay attention to the lines here. This is a copy and paste letterhead. Pay attention. This is a copy and paste letterhead. Look at the lines. I'm going to bring it up closer for you. This is a forgery. Let me show you. Why? Because the prophet used his own letterhead. Emilio did the same. You see this line right here? Let me pull it up for you. This is a copy and paste letterhead. It's a forgery. Let me show you. See this line right here? See this line right here? And you'll see the clear part right there? It's a nice square. The prophet never sent out anything like that, and none of the secretaries ever sent anything out like that. And this is supposed to be January 10th, 1929. However, this doesn't say a secretary did this. This got Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature on it, supposedly, which we will prove that that's a forgery also. So, it says that this was written on January the 10th, 2 days after the prophet's birthday. Yep, I got a copy of the prophet's letterhead. I sure do. I'll show it at the end. Yep, I sure do. Now, why would the rationale, why would someone else sign the prophet name? They would just retype it and keep it moving like the Emilio letters. Whenever you look at the Emilio letters, there is no prophet signature. It's typed in as a replica of what the prophet said. There is no signature. But there are some letters where people have imposed or put in the prophet's signature, right? Again, when you look closely, look at how they hooked it up. Now, again, please inform all members that the following Friday after my birthday is New Year's. I want you to hold on to that. That the following Friday after my birthday is New Year's. Let's deal with the signature first. Here is the signature that someone wrote on this document. Here is the prophet's signature from his filing of the corporation known as the Moorish Science Temple of America. Here is the Secretary of State filing. This signature is a forgery. It's not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. In fact, let me shrink them down and put them right beside so we all can see closely. that this is not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's signature. This is a clear forgery. But why would people do that? As I said, whenever a prophet comes, he has the plan and the methodology to liberate you. Once it becomes infiltrated, people work for the man who do not want you liberated. And so they change the goal line. They change the goal line. They move the gold. And they murky and muddy the waters. So people cannot find the truth. And these little things like this is only one of 100 things that have been changed within the works of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the custom and the culture and the structure. This is just one thing. See, they changed so many things that now people don't know what Moorish science looked like. Now people don't know what Moorish science looked like as taught by Prophet Noble Drew Ali unless you are able to dig it up and research it. And there are the original documents right there. You see what I'm saying? There are the original document right there. Now, when we look at a 1929 calendar, we're still on the letter, okay? Pass this to all your Moorish American friends. We are still on the letter. January the 8th is Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday. In 1929, it fell on a Tuesday. So he said the Friday after my birthday, according to the letter, not according to me, according to the letter, he said the Friday after my birthday will be Moorish New Year's. According to this fake letter, what date is the Friday after his birthday? The 11th. I'm sorry, I marked the wrong thing, but it's the 11th. It's definitely not the 15th. In fact, let's not screw this up, mess this up, and let me get this right real quick so nobody take this the wrong way. The Friday after his birthday is the 11th. The Friday after his birthday is the 11th. Somebody said the calendar is missing the number 13. All right, we can get another calendar. Let's go up. My objective is to show that it is the 11th. Oh, the reason why it's missing one because I cut it short. I just cut it short. That's all. Somebody say because it's 7 days. I got you, we Moors. I got that too. I cut it off when I just snipped it, but it's the 11th, right? Now, when we look at this calendar here, we see that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali birthday is the 8th, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why did they use this right here? Why did they choose the 15th instead of going with the first lie? The first lie is the 11th, Friday after my birthday. Why did they switch it in every website and every people the last 4 days, few days ago, was having celebrations on the 15th when they used the letter to confirm this celebration. Right there, let me stop for a minute. Right there, I could literally shut the camera off and go home. Right there, I could shut the camera off and go home. Press 7, but I got some more for you. I could shut the camera off and go home because they claim that letter confirms Moorish New Year. That's what everybody uses and everybody goes off. That letter does not confirm Moorish New Year on the 15th. Now, I'm debunking the whole letter. Press 7 if y'all still with me. I'm debunking the whole letter. The whole letter is bogus. The whole letter is a lie. And I'm going to show you how these infiltrators did the same thing that Europeans do when they tell you that Jesus is born in December. When they tell you that Halloween is officially should be recognized. I'm going to tell you, they're doing the same thing. These are infiltrators. They are moving the goalposts. They are moving the ancient landmark so people will not find their way to true wisdom. They infiltrated the movement. Now, this is only one of many. I could do these shows for at least 2 months, and I can show you where they did this in many, many places. In many, many places, I can show where they do this at. And the reason why they do it is so your mind will be discombobulated on what is the path and what you should be choosing. I could set this down right now and be done, but we ain't done yet because you have people that like to use a newspaper too and claim that the newspaper, as I was reading earlier, claim that the newspaper confirms it too. That's what they like to claim, that this newspaper confirms that the prophet sanctioned it. Now, this letter and what they practice are two different things. All of these sheiks, divine ministers, all of these people that claim to follow the prophet, according to this letter, you are not following the prophet. Not only are you not following the prophet, the letter is a forgery. Clearly, it's a forgery. It's clearly a forgery. That's not the prophet's signature. You can't make an hypothesis that, oh, somebody typed out the letter. You are putting your salvation on a what if, a maybe, or a happenstance. Truth don't change or pass away. You are really putting your spirituality on something made up and attributed to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The problem is not you having a Moorish New Year. The problem is that you attribute it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and it's a flat out lie. Santa Claus ain't coming down the chimney. The bunny ain't laying no eggs, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't sanction no Moorish New Year. So stop saying Prophet Noble Drew Ali did that. That's a lie. All of y'all that been partying, all of y'all that traveled from state to state, don't give it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Give honor where honor is due. Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't sanction that. Stop saying it. It's a lie. And as I teach in our temple, there is no divine coming out of a lie. There is no divine coming out of a lie. So if you want to elevate into the divine status of your God self, there is no line. There is no lie. My question had always been, why did they change the date though? And brother, what I'm saying to Handsome Beast Augustus, the reason why it's changed is because this path is a path of liberation. And if they can take you off the path by putting stuff in the way and muddying the waters, you will not be liberated. Like Moorish science is to liberate you financially, educationally, spiritually, politically, in every aspect of life. Moorish science and Islamism have the ability to do that. But when people change and they put things in, now you lose focus. This is how the Taj Tariq Beys are born. This is why Taj Tariq Bey can teach for 30 years and no one step up and call him false. No one steps up and call his teachings false, fake, and don't line up with the prophet. Because guess what? They're dirty in the waters over here. He's dirty in the waters over there. And then you got another dirty in the waters over there. So why would they try to stop Taj Tariq Bey? They just as bad. They just move a little more slicker. You understand? They just move a little more slicker. Because, and this is no disrespect to Taj Tariq Bey, what he teaches does not line up and mesh with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's teachings in no way, shape, or form. None. But this is a little bit more slick because those who created this illusion, you know what I'm saying? Those that created this illusion, they actually go to temples every Friday. They actually wear fezzes and turbans every Friday and some even every day. These people are actually respected in the community as an authority on Moorish science and Islamism. That's what makes it really bad, because now these people can come and speak in the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and they can continue on leading people off the path that is designed to liberate you. And this is why on the internet, when you see Moors, that if you're not a Moorish American, you're like, man, these people silly. When you see Moors, you say, oh man, they into that law. Moors, no law. When you see Moors, Moors do this because no one is checking the information. When people knew I was going to do this show right here, you know what they said? Why are you slandering people? Why would you do that? Just teach the prophet. The prophet is love. This is why we're in the condition that we're in now, because we refuse to put the truth where it belongs, in the people's face. We refuse to do it because we're going to lose some friends. We're going to lose some buddies. You see what I'm saying? But I don't care about no friends and no buddies. I care about the truth. If you're a friend of the truth, you're going to be a friend of mine. If you ain't a friend of the truth, you never was a friend of mine anyway. I don't care. It don't make me no difference. I'm trying to get liberated by following the divine truth. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Now, with that being said, y'all ready? I want everybody to thumbs up this because it's about to get hot in here. One of the main pieces of evidence that they use is a newspaper article, and they sprung the article on me on that thread. Now, we didn't debunk this letter. Let me ask anybody first. Do anybody want to come in and dispute me? I know you got some Moors in the background chilling. Come on, put your fez on. Come in here and show me where I'm wrong. I know you're going to call me a clown tomorrow. I know you're going to say I just want to argue so you won't have to defend the lie that you're standing on intellectually. I know what you're going to say. But anytime you want to hit the link, anytime you want to step face to face and bring yours and I bring mine, I'm always ready. I'm always ready. And I'm ready for truth. I'm not ready to debate you on no ignorant, Sinetta, goofy circus show. I want you to bring yours and I'm going to bring my proof. And we can go from there. With that being said, one of the reasons that we look at this the way that we do, from the 8th to the 15th, the reason why that was done is very simple. And I'm explaining it to you in a minute. at the end. Somebody had mentioned, sorry that I marked the 17th. Somebody had mentioned that the article that supports the 15th is in the Moorish Guide. And here is the Moorish Guide. Now, let's read it. They claim that. Now, look at the title of this paper. I hope it's a bunch of Moors in here today because they like to use this too. Look, it seems like we have a problem with comprehension sometimes. And I'm not being condescending. I'm just saying that's what it seems like. Now, watch this. We'll celebrate Prophet's birthday with Moorish National Costume Ball. That is the heading on this newspaper. This is the same heading that we read when I opened up with this. The affair will be held shortly, etc., etc. The same heading right there. Right. Now, in this article, and I'm going to blow it up to you. I'm going to blow it up for you so you can really read it. It says, so enthusiastic was the reception of the costumes. The funny thing to me is how Moors love to dress up in Moorish garbs, when in fact these garbs was mostly worn for cultural outings. Under the Prophet's robe or under the Prophet's attire, he always had a suit on. And I know people say that's the Western way or whatever the case may be, but the West ain't make nothing. We the originators of it all. But let me go with it. So enthusiastic with the reception of the costumes worn by the Moorish Americans during their parade that members of the Moorish Science Temple of America have decided to have at different times. Hold up. Who decided to have it at different times? Read again. And they say that the Prophet sanctioned it. But listen to this. Members of the Moorish Science Temple of America has decided to have at different times that they will call, a Moroccan costume ball. This affair will be held shortly after the holidays about New Year's. Now, people would interpret that to mean after the New Year's of the 14th. This is what they interpreted to. But now remember, don't forget the title. We will celebrate the Prophet's birthday with a Moorish costume ball. The affair will be held shortly after the holidays about New Year's Eve. Now, the brother said this paper was given to us at January something. Somebody in the thread said that. It goes on to say the Prophet consented this could be for entertainment of the members. Other groups of people in the city have been using the dress of our forefathers and imitating them, all but the olive hue, which they cannot get. And talking about the complexion of our skin. Now, watch this now. I'm going to read it one more time. This affair will be held shortly after the holidays about New Year. Here it is again. We will celebrate the Prophet's birthday with Moorish National Costume Ball. All right? That's how they're going to celebrate the Prophet's birthday. Right? Now let's read one more time. Members of the Moorish Science Temple of America decided to have it at different times. What they will call a Moroccan costume bar. This affair will be held shortly after the New Year's. after the holidays about the New Year's. Y'all ready? If y'all ready, I'm ready. Let's take a closer look at this real quick. I'm going to skip that because that's just talk about how the Europeans tried to imitate us. But, matter of fact, let's get it. I don't have to skip it. Let's get it. It's a dress of our forefathers in imitating them all, but the olive hue which they cannot get. During the Moorish convention, more than 1,500 Moroccan costumes were rented to Europeans who had seen the program and knew the Moors were to have a costume parade. Hold up. Was to have a costume parade. But nevertheless, we were successful in obtaining through certain Asiatic costume dealers. Now pay close attention. Why is it that in this newspaper that they highlighting the convention so much? Right? That they highlighting the convention so much. You're going to know why in a minute. You're going to know why in a minute. Now, the reason why they highlighting the convention so much is because in this same newspaper, you see this? Moroccan costume ball. This affair will be held shortly after the holidays. If you slide right over here to the other article, it talks about 25 cents. Let me show you. 25 cents must accommodate the name of each such person as a representation tax. The per capita tax collection begins on November the 1st. Aha! This was written in November. This paper was out in November or before. Y'all still with me? Y'all see where I'm getting to? They say that this paper was put out in January after the prophet's birthday. Somebody told me January the 8th. I think on that thread. I couldn't find it today, but that's what somebody said. You follow what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm asking, what really is going on? Because look at the date. Look at the date real quick. The date says they're going to have a per capita tax that begins November the 1st. So if they put this in the paper for November the 1st, 1928, it's not even the new year yet. It's not even the Gregorian New Year yet, as they try to imply. So now we got better context. You feel me? Now we got better context that when they talking about the new year over here, that the affair will be happen shortly after the holidays about New Year's Eve. And then we look over here. There's only one conclusion to draw. That they're talking about the Gregorian New Year. Now, when you go up here, general laws as said by the prophet, Tuesday, October 17th. Now, we got a gap to close. This is talking about that the prophet said something on October the 17th. This is talking about that a per capita tax will begin on November the 1st. We got a window now. We got a window now. Somewhere in between there was this given to the public. Or even before, and some of this stuff is post-dated. But it definitely can't be after November the 1st. Follow me? Wisdom Fact Kings. If you ain't been following, then you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm gonna block you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna block you anyway. You gone. Because you ain't been following, you come here talking crazy. Block, gone. Go make a new page. Go make a new page. Now, I can't take my time. You got to keep up with this. Or go back and review it, brother. Listen, but it's going to all pull together. I like it to be like I'm doing it. This is how I teach. If this affair will be had shortly after the holidays, about New Year's Eve, then you go over here in the same paper. It talks about general laws by the prophet, Tuesday, October the 17th, 1928. And then you go over here that they got a per capita tax that was implemented, and it won't start. And it won't start until November the 1st. That means that this article was not released in January, as they tried to imply that the new year is the 15th. This was released before the holidays, the Gregorian holidays as we know it. And this is not an interpretation. This is the fact, because we got dates. You follow me? Now, this affair will be held shortly after the holidays, about New Year's Eve. Again, people tried to imply that this was delivered to the people in January, but we got dates. This is going to debunk all of that with these dates. So this paper couldn't have been out in January, because it talks about the per capita tax collection begins November the 1st. So this paper had to be out. The Gregorian calendar is the calendar that we go by. And I'm saying that just to separate from the Moorish New Year. So the New Year of January the 1st is on the Gregorian calendar, right? So let's go a little further. The reason why that they can't run from this and try to use this paper anymore is because, examine it closer, look, we'll celebrate Prophet's birthday with Moorish National Costume Ball, right? But if you go over to the left article, it says, on Tuesday night was held a formal opening with many prominent speakers, among whom were Alderman Lewis B. Anderson, who delivered the welcome address to the delegates and visitor. What are they talking about? I'll tell you what they're talking about. Lewis B. Anderson, the alderman, spoke at the National Convention for the Moorish Science Temple of America, the alderman of Chicago. Dr. C.V. Roman of Meharry Medical College, Nashville, Tennessee, was a pleasant surprise speaker who was in the city in the interest of the congressional campaign of Oscar the Priest. These are prominent people supporting Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish American Convention, or the Convention of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You don't see that today. You see a bunch of pseudo foolishness on the internet. Ain't nobody prominent supporting these crazies that's talking crazy. They done gotten off the path of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honorable Daniel M. Jackson was absent because his business with the government at Springfield, Illinois, but was represented by attorney Aaron Payne, who delivered a very forceful address testing many things of the interests of Moorish American. Now, if on Tuesday night they're talking about the convention, to debunk the concept once again that this paper was actually released in January, to be consistent with the new year that they're celebrating, we know that doesn't make sense now. In fact, we do enough research where we'll get the whole paper for you, and we'll tell you that the paper was actually released on Friday, October the 26th. Remember when I read about the temple tax? Convention, a big success. Delegates from 15 states. Prominent men deliver address. Temple tax necessary. Remember? So those who tried to use this paper the bottom part of the paper and claim that this justifies, because this paper was put out in January, you're done. Because this paper that the article comes out of was October 26, 1928. This article is referring to a New Year's after the holidays. Somebody tried to tell me, oh, he talking about the holidays of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday. No, not this. Not this. Here is the paper. Y'all have made up a holiday and attributed to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. That's what y'all did. Y'all tried to change the game and keep people blind. And you have some of the most respected Moorish Americans following this mess. Some of the most respected Moorish Americans teach this. They teach it to the babies. They teach it to the ladies. But here you go. Here you go. It's a flat out lie. And people's like, why would people do that? Why would people do that? I'm just telling you, a prophet lays a divine path for the people to get out of persecution, oppression, and to ultimately be liberated. In order to keep you oppressed, people that look like us work for those who benefit from our oppression. They help move the goal line. They help move the goal line. I'm gonna say it again to Sister Yasmin before I conclude on the last few slides. The purpose, Sister Yasmin, is the same reason that they change Jesus' name from his birth name. Why in the Bible you never hear Jesus being referred to as Emmanuel? But coming up, we read, his name shall be Emmanuel. And then people would say, oh no, it's Joshua. And then in the East, they say, no, it's Isa. And then in the English language, they said Jesus. And then some people just say, man, Jesus don't even exist, because the water has been muddied so much. The human mind is not able to wrap its mind around, or the brain around, all of these confusing concepts. The same thing happens with the Bible. When you read the Bible, there are so many intersecting concepts, from allegory to metaphor to literal to history to spirituality, that the mind has a hard time wrapping its mind around it. Therefore, you cannot find your pathway to total liberation, because the waters have been muddied. And so when you look at King James, who commissioned those to translate the Bible from Greek as well as Hebrew, they begin to put their hand in it to make sure you will never find your way to total liberation. And when you get total liberation, we're not talking about a religious liberation as you used to seeing represented by those who claim to be religious. When we're talking about a true liberation, we're talking about economics is tight. I mean, you have an economy that sustains you, your family, and your community. This is true liberation. You have a defense in place to protect that which God, Allah, the Almighty, the Most High, has blessed you with. See, the path of liberation is given to you because your ancestors cried out for it. And when your ancestors cried out for it, The universe responded and they gave you the pathway out. But when the universe responds, the earth also responds. Let me say it again. When the higher vibration respond to a call, the lower vibration responds with an opposition. You follow me? And so when the liberator comes with the plan of redemption and to liberate you, there's also an energy to oppose your liberation. And a lot of that comes through our people who have not raised their consciousness to understand what exactly is taking place. You see? And so this is why we suffer in all different types of organizations, because we have not raised our consciousness to see the waters being muddied. And so my job is to unmuddy the waters, because the universe responded and it exacted certain things for you to gain your strength and wisdom from. So the birth of Buddha is done on a specific time in order for the people to understand that this is real and they can compare it with something of yesterday. Now, when somebody shuffle the cards with Buddha's path, somebody shuffle the cards with Muhammad's path, Prophet Noble Ali or Jesus' path given to them by the universal creator, now the world become lost. And so this is what happened to Prophet Noble Ali's movement once he transitioned. Those in turbans and fezzes shuffled the deck. And they have been shuffling the deck since 1934. Even until this day. Nobody never spoke on this in this way that I'm speaking on this today. And I'm guarantee you, no one can debunk what I'm saying today. Because this is intentional. This is intentional. And this is for the Moorish Americans. If you practice this next year, it's because you want to live in the illusion. It's because you want to live in the lie. It's because you want to believe the unbelievable. But you cannot debunk this. This is the first time you've ever seen this done like this, I'm sure. Now, let's get this real quick. One of the things that we must pay attention to, and I said to the brother that I was talking to, I said, one of the things you have to understand, brother, while he was arguing with me, I said, you have to understand how the newspaper was put together. Number one. I said, number two, you have to understand when it was put out. Now, he didn't know that I had the information that I have. Obviously, he was arguing me down. Now, he probably watching right now. But the way that the newspaper was put together was very simple. All advertising, correspondence, and news for publication should be in the office of the Moorish Guide Publishing Company, no, not later than Sunday of each week. So let me tell you something. If someone was speaking at the convention and the convention closed on the 20th of October, those articles was turned in on the 21st and the paper was published on the 26th. You see how we did that? Hold up. Hold up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Friday, October the 26th, this, not published, I'm sorry, it was put out on the 26th. So in reality, anytime after the 22nd, between the 25th, the 22nd and the 25th, the paper was published, but it was put out on the 26th. It was dated the 26th because that's when it was released. You follow me? And so for these people to claim that January this paper came out, you're false, because here's the paper. Here is the full paper. That's number one. Now, people say, what about the Moorish New Year? I will agree with May L on this point. This is a reproduced letter from Eliel, and I have a clearer one, but I'll just say this. Eliel states that the prophet stated, and see, I'm real with it. Eliel states that the prophet stated that, hold on, on this line over here, I in turn use it among temples that you are comfortable. I can show many illustrations. I have demonstrated that you can use my money if your heart is right, pure, and just. So this is a New Year's celebration. Turn over a new leaf. You Moors, this is the beginning of new business. This letter right here, that is a reprint or copy, whatever you want to call it, by Eliel. This is clearly in October. You know what I mean? You just saw a man put down $20 last night. This is at the convention. That some stranger gave $20 last night. And he said, so they are waiting to put down thousands of dollars for the progress of the divine movement. You know what I'm saying? So this happened in October, clearly. And so on this October, it speaks to, hold up, on this October, it speaks to that. So this is the New Year's celebration. Turn over a new leaf. You Moors, this is the beginning of new business. And that they're talking about a fiscal year. New business, new year. New business, new year. It's a new business year in October. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali did not introduce a Moorish New Year to no one, nor did he sanction a Moorish New Year. It's false. It's just not true. And for anybody try to attribute it to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it goes to prove why. I mean, it goes to show why the Moorish Science Temple of America haven't had any dominant influence among our people since the time of Eliel. And the reason why is no one cares about the authenticity of the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. No one cares to correct the errors that have been perpetrated under the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali since 1934. No one cares to correct it. No one cares to speak on it. I'm telling you, today, when I was passing out or sending out the flyer, many people say, why you throw people under the bus? Why you just read the Quran? Like, what? Just read the Quran. Listen, we on the wrong vibration. It's time for us to get on the right vibration. So, family, before I get out of here, because I don't want to go too long, and I want people to go back and learn and read this, study this, and I'm gonna wait for some responses. Is there anybody that want to jump in real quick? Let's see.